A lot of times when I tell people that I'm an animal communicator, they immediately think, oh, she's involved in witchcraft. And that really bothers me. My name's Dakota Lee. I can see in the spirit, and I've been really tight with God and Jesus. I'm a Christian since since my first memories. And when I was 14 years old, I discovered that not only is it possible to talk to animals, but I could start doing it too. And I started in secret. When I was 12 years old, I was introduced to the concept. There was this woman, she had red hair. She was probably 40 years older than me. And she said she had a friend who could talk to her horse. And I remember that conversation. There were other people there talking. They were like, oh, yeah, tell me about that. And I just backed away slowly. I didn't want any part to do with it. It just rung off so many not okay alarm bells in my head. And I was a big part of my church. There's a lot of things I appreciate from my church, but a lot of things I've left in the past. 2 years later, my dad, of all people, sent me this documentary he found online of a woman, Anna Breitenbach, I don't know if you've seen it, who said she could talk to animals, and she went to talk to this Black Panther that had been rescued and was completely shut down. And she had a cool conversation. The keeper of the rescue was like, wow, that was accurate. And then the same day Anna went to talk to this leopard, he came out of his shelter for the first time in 6 months. And I saw that, and I don't know, I guess my spirit was ready, and I was so hooked. And from that point, I just kept trying. I just tried. I tried, and sometimes I failed, and sometimes it worked. It worked. Sometimes it worked. It started blowing my mind. And so I kept practicing and practicing until the time I got to an adult, I was ready to be a professional. And so now I talk to animals, but I have limits. I do not talk to animals who have passed away because the spirit does carry on, and that's a whole other video. I talk to animals that are here with us on Earth. I understand why people would be like, I think this girl is messing with witchcraft, but you can go check out my other videos. If there is anybody that would be aware of what she is messing with because of so much trial and error in my life, it would be me. Go watch some other videos. If it resonates with your spirit, great. But there are some points in the Bible where there is speaking to animals. And the first one is in Genesis 1, in the creation of the world. Do you know when Adam was naming the animals, he was also speaking to them? And that wasn't a big deal at the time. People can speak to animals in heaven. And Jesus said, let it be on earth as it is in heaven. And so that gives me a lot of confidence that speaking to animals is actually one of those spiritual gifts. It's out there, believe me. I know it's out there, but it's one of those spiritual gifts that can actually be good and be aligned with Christian values, because I'm not talking to demons. I am talking to the spirit of these animals, and it ends up being really useful. And I'll just say, those of you who are still raising eyebrows, there's a test in 1 John 4 to test the spirit of the Antichrist, anyone who's against Christ. And I'll pass that test for you right now. I know that Jesus, and I believe Jesus Christ came to this world in the flesh. He died for our sins, and he was resurrected, and he is still alive in heaven today. And I'm an animal communicator. Anyway, I've got lots of opinions about different spiritual gifts from a Christian perspective. I love Jesus. You know, sometimes I don't even want to say Christian so much because of the negative connotation, but Jesus follower, heck yeah. I can get behind that one. But I am a Christian. And if you're interested, well, more stories to follow.